We're going to show you today the design criteria and some of the benefits, and show you why we designed things the way we did in the Advanced Autosports Spec Miata roll cage. In any convertible car, the strongest part of a car is the rocker panel. So we want to tie everything into the rocker panel, and that's something we've done with our design. Starting with the main hoop here, we go down to the floor, which puts us down into the rocker panel. We have machine cut pieces that fit to both the rocker panel, the floor, and the back wall for a lot of strength in that area. Main hoop is one piece, precision bent, lots of tight clearances. It is not designed to go into a car with a soft top or with the full interior. This is a race car designed roll cage. The required diagonal brace here, it must remain by rule for some sanctioning bodies within the plane of the main hoop, so it has to be straight one piece. Some people want to bend it back to here to try to get a little more seat room. Check with your sanctioning body to make sure that is legal. One thing that we do differently than a lot of places is we have our, what we call the harness bar, lowered down to this area. I'll explain the total reason why we do that a little later. We add this bar here, which we call the Hans bar, so that you have a bar to attach your belts to that is up high at approximately shoulder level. That's where the seat belt and the safety equipment manufacturers want that bar positioned. We also use these three-dimensional gussets. You see one here, over here. We've got them on that side also. They add a lot of strength to the joint here, so that you don't just have a weld joint, you actually have a three-dimensional gusset that adds tons of strength. Go back into the trunk here. You'll notice that our roll cages come back much farther than most other cages do. Again, we use very large footings to spread the load out real well. The biggest reason we do this is if a car ever backs into a wall and gets hit in the quarter panel, puts a lot of force this way, you have the chance of the car not being totaled. A lot of people bring their bars way up front by the shock tower, leaving the whole trunk empty with no support. You hit it into a wall, all of this is going to fold up and probably end up totaling the car. We've saved several cars because we've had additional roll cage back here. Moving back up to the front, all our tubing is precision bent, mandrel bent, what they call DOM, drawn over mandrel tubing, which is what is required by virtually every sanctioning body. It's designed so you have as much headroom as possible and also as much safety. The bar comes down, follows the A-pillar, goes down through here. If I open the glove compartment here, you can see where it comes down, ties into the floor. We do have a nice heavy-duty piece of roll cage tubing going through the dash here. One thing that we do that a lot of other roll cage kits do not have, or a feature that we have that others do not have, is that you don't have to do any modifications to the heater boxes inside. Your blower motor, your air conditioning box, your actual heater box are all intact. The defrosters work normally, the heater works normally. You do lose your air conditioning vents. But in a race car, we don't have air conditioning anyways. Again, if you go down here to the floor, very large plates that tie into the rocker panel. Again, the rocker panel is the strongest part of the car. You'll notice that there is a body seam right in here where the firewall panel meets with the floor panel. We make our plates go over that seam to effectively do a seam weld right here. There's also a seam that you can't see real well right here in the rocker panel that would go all the way down here. Again, we make our plates come back far enough so that we pick up that seam, effectively seam welding the car and making the chassis stronger and the roll cage safer. Onto the door bars, and this is why we have this bar lower than a lot of manufacturers. A lot of cage manufacturers want to put the bar up here. It's much easier to make. You can be a little bit sloppy with your bends, don't have to be as critical. By having this bar here, we're able to mate up with this door bar, so that in the event that you get hit this way, all the force from this door bar is transferred over into this bar, which then transfers over to the other side of the car. Passenger side, it's not really a very big deal. You get hit in the driver's side, you want that force being transferred and not this bar collapsing in on the driver. You'll also notice there's only two bends here. Two at an angle like this with the straight bar coming in between. Just like, you know, the Hoover Dam or any other big dam construction, you'll see the same kind of curved feature. Any force that hits here is going to try to straighten these tubes and push them farther into the uprights. That makes this door structure much stronger. A couple of bars here for intrusion purposes. So we've got the driver pretty much encapsulated in a full circle of steel tubing for driver safety. That's the main purpose of a roll cage, is driver safety. We angle these bars down. You have your choice of if you want to angle them down or not. It makes it a lot easier to get in and out of a Miata because they're such a small car. We have now started to add a roof bar here for a little added safety. We actually offset this bar a little bit to the passenger side to give the driver a little more headroom, mostly when he's putting on his helmet. The whole cage is made out of 1.5 inch DOM tubing, meets every sanctioning body's rules, and it's relatively easy to put in. We've done a lot of them. We spend about 30 hours on the roll cage. Your own personal cage, doing it the first time, figure you're going to spend 60 to 70 hours on the cage. We've also added, and you can see it in this car, the diagonal bars up here in the windshield. These add another gusset into an important area. On the driver's side, it also makes for a great handle for pulling yourself in and out of the car. That's our roll cage. If you have any questions, give us a call or drop us an email. We're always available. Thank you.